that a little bit later in the show, so don't worry about that. Just on the Isak thing, like I want to speak about the terms that people are speaking about, because I get the media is playing it down, but this is my personal feeling. Of course, the media is going to play it down. This is where maybe Liverpool fans won't like me as much, but I kind of mean it as a compliment, I suppose. Liverpool have the media dancing their merry tune. They're the Pied Pipers of the media. And we've seen this so many times this last week. United's transfers in euros, including add-ons. Their transfers, no add-ons in pounds to create a differential. Of course, the media are going to say, I heard Jacobs, and I trust Ben Jacobs. I'm working with him in a couple of hours' time. He'll say it's wide of the mark that personal terms have been agreed. That is fair, because he's only going to tell us what the clubs are telling him, what the agents are telling him. My personal belief is Liverpool have had these personal terms locked down for a while. It's just taken until now for Isak to start trying to push and pull away from the football club. Why would Liverpool not want it to come out? The personal terms have already been agreed in principle, because I know what Newcastle will pull a Forest. Newcastle will pull a Forest and start complaining, talking about tapping up, because they sort of feel like they're in. Newcastle are getting very angry as a club right now. Yeah. They've missed out on so many targets. I mean, James Trafford, they could have had that tied up before the Club World Cup. They could have got it done early, but they decided not to, even though City were linked to him. I don't know why they didn't do it. They've missed out on him now. Like, they're in a very bad mood. So I totally understand why Liverpool are going to tell every single journalist who will print it, we haven't agreed no terms, it's wide of the mark, no truth in that whatsoever, because they don't want the smoke that Spurs are currently going through, because Spurs' thing's been going on 2 weeks now. And as much as some people think Spurs may have not done anything wrong, I thought within 2 weeks it'd be resolved. I thought Spurs had bid a bit more money or they'd walk away, but it isn't, they're in kind of purgatory to a point where Spurs ain't done any other business, like not a dicky bird. And the Man United, like, condemn it, defend it, it don't really matter. We know why we're slow at this point. We've got to sell to buy, right? We know that. Spurs ain't. They're rich as fuck anyway, and they've got Champions League money. They ain't moved. They ain't moved at all. So that's why I think Liverpool are playing it down. But my personal feeling, I think this is almost nailed on now that Isak becomes a Liverpool player. They're almost nailed on from this point. I felt it was possible all summer. And as soon as last Saturday, or whatever day it was, Saturday, what day did we play? We played on the Saturday, didn't we, Man United? They played the same day. They got battered 4-0. When he said, we didn't play Alexander Isak today because we wanted to get him out the limelight, get him away from the cameras because of the speculation, I thought, well, that's just not what you do to a player who's happy and wants to stay and a club who wants to keep him. It's never happened in the history of football. No one has to go and you don't need a week away. And then they said that we've got to keep away from the cameras. What cameras? The paparazzi don't follow Newcastle's preseason around. I'm not being horrible. They don't. The only people that follow it around are the journalists that write the stories you want anyway. So they're not going to put pressure on him. They're just going to, as soon as I saw that, I know. And it's horrible. Newcastle fans all think I want this to happen. I don't. I would love to be so wrong. I'd love this not to happen. My biggest rival's getting one of the best players in the world. It's painful. But the bit that's made it worse than that kind of pain is watching the world fucking delude themselves all summer. Well, won't happen. Can't happen. Impossible. It was never impossible. So, whenever you see a big transfer story involving Liverpool, if their media don't shut it down within 24 hours, it's on. Because their media, again, they have media outlets that just write what they want. And they do one thing really well to their fans, Liverpool. Whether you hate them as a club or love them, they never string their fans along with transfer deals. They might say next summer will be massive, but they always go, we're not doing that this summer, or no links to him, or they shut this down. So for me, I think those terms have been agreed in principle. My personal opinion, that is. The media will play it down until the here we go comes. And I don't think that's far. I don't think that's a million miles away either. I think the bid's going to come in pretty soon. They've got stuff coming in for Nunez and Diaz. And fuck me, what a deal this is going to be. Like, on a real level, I know we haven't really touched on that yet, but I mean, this is a sickeningly good deal, Staffy. Sickeningly good.
Yeah, the league is over if this happens. They were already very good, and they were my favorites to win the league. With this one, it's just over. Your front line, I think now with especially that Kitike went, that one hurt me, by the way, because I really, really wanted a Kitike. You have a front line now of Salah on the right. I think Kitike now is going to play on the left because it's a bit versatile. But you're going to have him on the left, maybe him and Gakpo. They're probably going to sell Diaz anyways. Isak leading the front, and you have Rich playing behind him. Good luck playing that front line. Honestly, just good luck. All of us, when we go against that front line, it's a matter of like not if you keep a clean sheet. It's a matter of like how much you concede. If you don't concede more than, I don't know, a goal or two, you probably did well. It's over for everyone. And you know what it is? I actually feel bad for one fan base the most. Actually, I don't feel bad for them, but I feel for them. It's Arsenal. They get a Swedish striker. They get a Swedish striker, and 24 hours later, the better Swedish striker demands a move from Newcastle and is going to go to the team that they're going to rival for the league. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. If they thought with all these signings that Arsenal were going to go and win the league now, it's over, bro. It's over. Yeah. You have Liverpool who already won the league. They added so many starters into their team. They added a starting striker. They added a backup striker. They added a starting fullback. They added right back, I should say, and then a starting left back. They added a starting 10, and they're potentially going to get Gahey still. No one is, bro. I'm sorry. No one's touching that team. Unfortunately, it's sad to hear and it's sad to say. And I know now that 21 is coming for them. Who I would have never thought that years ago that they're going to get 21 before us. But it's the reality that we're at right now. That team, they're building a dynasty for the first time in some of our lifetimes. I've never seen a dynasty for Liverpool because their last dynasty was in the 80s. Most of us were either too young or weren't even born. I wasn't even born. So they're building a dynasty right in front of our eyes. And don't forget, some of these players are so young. Mo Salah now can actually leave because Liverpool fans a season or two ago, if you would have told them what happens if Salah leaves, they just wanted to cash in if he leaves so they can rebuild the team. Right now, Salah can easily leave in the next 2 years. And you got Isak, who's still 25 right now, by the way. We talk about Isak and how long he's been relevant for. He's only 25. Wirtz, I think, how old is Wirtz? 21? Still young. Ekitike, still young. They've rebuilt this team in front of our eyes with so much quality that some of these players are going to be together with each other for the next 5 to 7 years, whatever it is. And they're so, so good. And the sad part is not only are they going to be together in the next few years, they are more than capable to win now. They're basically doing what Man City did over the last 10 years, and we praise them for. And I feel like we don't do that with Liverpool because we haven't seen them do that a lot. It's time that we start talking about Liverpool like that, as sad as it is. Liverpool right now are going to be the favorites to win the league this year, and they have the better future between everyone else in the league. I don't know what that... Oh, that's you doing. That's what I'm saying. I didn't say nothing. Yeah, there's not going to be... Listen, bro, I'm sorry. There's not going to be no dynasty for Arsenal like they thought they would be. And the only team that might, because they have the track record of recruiting well to compete with that, will be City. But not this year. City won't compete with them this year, but they're going to have to do a lot of work to keep up with them in the next few years. But yeah, man, it's looking scary. If you're not scared of Liverpool, you're just deluded. It's simple as that. And that's coming from a United fan. I have no reason to praise Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, this is the instance where you can say Liverpool are scary, and it's true. Like, because...
Are you giving ideas to Terry?
Well, yeah, because it's right in this time. Because I think the thing is, if you say Arsenal are scary, but you don't think they're going to win the league, then you're scared of. There's nothing to be scared of because you don't think they're going to win the league. There's nothing for us to be scared of because we're not competing for the league. Our teams are nowhere near them, so we're just observers, right? We're passive observers. But Liverpool, to the teams that want to win the league, should genuinely scare them because they could be up there. Like, build a dynasty, and that is going to be something.
I hear what you're saying, Staffy, and I think they're the favourites. They're clear favourites right now. There's no pussies in trees. There's no underdog story. This ain't fucking Seabiscuit. Do you know what I mean? This is no comeback story. This isn't the Mighty Ducks or Kim Kardashian or anything like that. We've all seen them. We've all seen We've all seen the jokes. We've all seen the joke. We've all seen. I don't know what TV show that's from, but that was a brilliant by Chris Pratt. But yeah, like all of that's true. At the same time, though, I need to ask you this question.
Ask me. Go ahead.
Arteta must win a trophy. I agree.
I know what you're about to do. Go ahead.
No, it's not about to do. It's about food for thought. So, how does it? If Liverpool are already champions, is that a good enough excuse for Arsenal to not win the league this year?
No, because they didn't win it 3 in a row where they finished second. That's the problem. You got skipped twice. Well, once technically. City skipped you, but they were already ahead of you, so I can't say that. But then when City dropped off, Liverpool skipped you before the signings. I saw people, Hamza was saying, this is proof now that Arne Slot is a checkbook manager. He won before the checkbook was even in front of him. They said, listen, no checkbook in the first year, go win something, and then we'll give you the checkbook next year. And then they gave him the checkbook, and they're like, you know what? Fair enough. The checkbook arrived a year later anyways, because whatever financial restrictions they might have had last summer, I don't know. But clearly, all the money that they didn't spend last summer enabled them to spend all this summer. The cherry on top of the cake was that they actually won the league when they weren't meant to win the league last year. So they ended up winning it, and they got the checkbook, and they massively upgraded. And now you're looking at the person who was caught behind, who kept making excuses. By the way, when we say excuses or reasons, just go listen to what some of the Arsenal fans have been saying. Igao has been taking the league for granted. And the reason I talk about Igao is because he's, I guess, the most relevant Arsenal fan on the terrace. So people don't think it's agenda. And he's my friend, so I'm not mentioning him anyways. He kept telling us he can't fully judge Arteta until he gets a new front line. Well, there you go. You're getting a new front line. But guess what happens? Football does not operate in a vacuum. It's not like you put your team, cancel everything else out, and you just work on your improvements. And once you're ready, you're like, oh, look, I'm ready. It took me 3 years to build this, but now I'm ready. There's people around you working. And just like that, Liverpool skipped them. So whether you want to blame it on how bad or how less Arsenal's recruitment was compared to Liverpool, because how good they've been this year, or whether it's just management or just quality of the squad compared to 3 years ago when they started competing to now, whatever it is, it's still not going to be the excuse. No one's going to listen to that. Arsenal fans will look at it, and if they finish second again for the fourth year in a row, they won't be accepting that excuse. And a lot of people, let's be honest, there's agendas that run anyway, so there's people that can't wait. I mean, Dunn and Lawless are just the proof.
So I
they
get
can't
that.
wait for them to finish second again.
I hear what you're saying. Let me throw this in. Yeah, let me throw this in then. So I get that there'll be people that will say Arteta's got to go if he comes second again this year. What manager? So who is the manager in the world right now that's attainable for them? Don't say Pep, because they know they can't get him. What manager could take over this current Arsenal squad and beat this current Liverpool team that we're already crowning as champions to the league?
Wait, hold on. I'm not saying sack Arteta though.
You know, but
so this is what I'm give you an alternative when that's not my take.
That's fair, and I think that's the thing for me is it's just about people having honest conversation. I'm not saying there aren't better managers out there, but there's a train of thought that means even if you improve the manager from Arteta, they might not win the league this year with Arsenal because of how good this Liverpool team is. And I always think that's always food for thought as an example. And I'm just trying to see what people say, because my view, I don't really care what people's answers are. I'll get into a point in the football content community. People often think it's about defending Arsenal. It isn't. It's about us as content creators being honest. I see it a lot with Man United's transfers this summer. People don't want to. I'm asking people now, like, what did you say before the season ended? What looked like a good summer? Well, why does that matter? Well, because I remember watching you and you said, if we are only trying to sign kids this summer, I'm going to lose my mind. We've got to get experience. That's all we're really aiming for is experience. I don't like it. Well, that's what you said you wanted. Now you're saying you don't like it. I don't like when people sort of move the goalposts to maintain frustration. I do think people have got to set their stall out early. What I don't like hearing, because I don't think it makes sense, if Arteta only wins an FA Cup, he's got to be sacked. Okay, do you think you can beat Liverpool to the title? Oh, no way, the league's over. I look at that and that almost feels a bit oxymoronic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but